On January 1st, 2024, within a Miami mall, we confronted our deepest fears, the culmination of a century-long dalliance with interdimensional technology. Narratives surrounding Project Blue Book and the Philadelphia experiment have provided glimpses into the horrors unleashed through our relentless pursuit of unlocking powers beyond our control. These principalities, manipulating the upper echelons of society, harbor ambitions of total world domination, not for personal gain, but to transform our world into a breeding ground for malevolence. In my quest for safety, I assumed the identity of Dr. William Collins, and this is my story. In the dimly lit confines of my research facility in Key West, a call echoed through the silent halls, an urgent summons from the secretive Governmental Board of Science. Bewilderment seized me as their directive demanded my immediate presence at a clandestine research facility in the desolate expanse of Antarctica. The very existence of such a facility in that remote, frozen wasteland eluded my knowledge, and a shiver of foreboding danced down my spine. With a mind swirling with unsettling thoughts, I hastily packed my bags, driven by the pressing urgency of the unknown. The military airplane that awaited me seemed almost like a phantom, shrouded in cloaking technology that added an air of nonsensical reality to the impending journey. I boarded the aircraft, its engines roaring to life as it prepared to transport me into the heart of Antarctica, an enigmatic realm cloaked in mysteries and secrets. As the plane soared into the muggy and foggy sky, I felt alone and apprehensive. My mind was drawn to images of huge, cold landscapes, a gloomy canvas where every frozen shape appeared to contain hidden mysteries. I flew into the unknown, the rhythmic hum of the plane's engines mirroring the heartbeat of an imminent revelation as the solitude of Antarctica cradled the mystery that lay at the heart of the ice abyss. Our voyage took an unexpected detour at an Antarctic military facility where I had no idea there was a massive tunnel waiting to be explored. Despite not receiving a briefing from my immediate boss at our research center in the Florida Keys, my knowledge of ancient technologies and Egyptology had led me to this top-secret assignment. Upon arrival, a strong number of special operations soldiers guarded the entrance to the cave system, indicating the gravity of the situation. The cave, which was massive in magnitude, has Egyptian-style writings on its outside walls. I ventured into the cave and saw a makeshift military base commanded by lead governmental scientist Dr. Benjamin Perry. The secrets within the cave offered insights that went beyond the ordinary, paving the way for an adventure into the unknown. This revelation sent shivers down my spine as those terrifying words resonated through the dimly illuminated cave. The air was heavy with unsaid dread, and I could feel the weight of the unknown crushing on my chest. I studied the cave's walls, looking for symbols that seemed to throb with unearthly energy rather than Egyptian hieroglyphics. The darkness within the cave seemed to absorb every sound, leaving only faint echoes of our footsteps as we descended deeper into the abyss. We brought you here because of your experience with ancient technology and linguistics, the voice said, its chilly tendrils wrapping around my senses. The words, a foreshadowing of the mystery that awaited, resonated around the cavern, heightening the disturbing calm. As we pushed further, an ineffable uneasiness descended over the expedition crew. The whole soul of the cave seemed to convey old mysteries beyond human comprehension. My lantern's dim light formed elongated shadows on the walls, blending strangely with the enigmatic symbols. The temperature fell, and the air thickened with an eerie coolness. Suddenly, the cave's depths showed an opening, a gateway into the unknown. A gnawing sensation of dread grabbed my spirit, as if the vacuum itself desired to devour all reason. "There's something in there," Dr. Perry said quietly, his voice shaking. The blackness beyond the portal appeared to pulsate with a malevolence that transcended the physical world. Dread curled about us as we stood on the cliff, stuck between the familiar and the unknown. I neared the symbols, each step echoing an eerie beat. The walls appeared to breathe, emitting an old language that clawed at my awareness. As I translated the eldritch alphabet, a revelation occurred. A cosmic creature, dormant for millennia, awoke in the depths. The cave's quiet was broken when a disturbing resonance permeated the air. The gateway pulsed, and the unspeakable evil inside craved for escape. In that terrible moment, the line between worlds blurred, and the expedition crew stood on the verge of an unfathomable abyss. What precisely have you discovered, Dr. Perry? And how does this revelation relate to my involvement?
Allow me to demonstrate, Dr. Collins. I require you to put on these protective goggles, and we've prepared an ID badge along with a complete radiation suit to safeguard you from any hazardous materials within the depths of the cave.
The discovery of radioactive material sent shivers down my spine, an unsettling cold that grew stronger as we plunged deeper into the abyss. The elevator, a frightening fall into the unknown, transported us to various levels of the cave. The second level resembled a laboratory, with scientists in lab coats moving through an unsettling ballet of experimentation. On the third level, the air became tense, laden with the sights and sounds of military force, with tanks and vehicles providing a menacing background. As we moved further, a terrible anticipation grabbed my senses. The fourth level revealed a scary scene, a massive doorway towering before me. Its alien construction defied earthly logic, a hideous masterpiece brimming with extraterrestrial vitality. My awe turned to apprehension, an instinctive fear of the unfathomable. The mysteries hidden beneath the cave's foundations emerged in the darkness. A hidden government agency, motivated by an insatiable desire for power, has discovered an otherworldly doorway in the freezing depths of Antarctica. This treasure, a symbol of an old extraterrestrial civilization's tremendous strength, now resounded with malevolence. Dr. Perry, the chief scientist, delivered a somber briefing, leaving a definite sense of anxiety. Something had gone wrong in their quest for supremacy over this otherworldly entity. The portal, once a gateway to the marvels of the universe, now radiated a sense of impending doom. As the reality became clear, I stood before the massive edifice, my wonder overshadowed by a deep-seated horror. The shadows screamed of failed experiments and forces beyond human control, and I found myself caught up in a macabre dance with the unknown.
Dr. Collins, let me guide you through what we refer to as the Gateway Portal. Its technological sophistication surpasses our own by at least 100,000 years. Your presence here is not coincidental. We find ourselves mired in a significant predicament. In our somewhat naive pursuits, we accidentally triggered the activation of the portal. As the experiments unfolded, an unsettling energy permeated the site. The cave bore witness to peculiar phenomena, distorted whispers reverberating through desolate corridors, lights flickering in erratic patterns, and enigmatic shadows pirouetting on the cave walls.
Dr. Perry's disclosure sent a shudder across the icy underground air. The power to the foreboding gateway portal had been purposely cut off, throwing the whole complex into darkness. As power was gradually restored, the gateway remained inert, like a sleeping beast, waiting for comprehension.
We left the portal dormant until we understood the writings on the structure, and that's why we need you, Dr. Collins.
Dr. Perry's remarks resonated through the eerie quiet, each syllable hanging in the air like a foreboding omen. The weight of the unknown pushed down on my shoulders as I began the difficult effort of decoding the enigmatic writings. Days passed in a cloud of anticipation as I investigated the perplexing symbols. The first comprehended words ripped at my understanding, revealing a deadly message. Beware, I have laid before you an open door, for you have allowed me in, and you lack the strength to halt what you have become. For I am the lord of this realm, and I will exact my wrath on thee. The discovery immobilized me, making me a witness to a malevolence beyond explanation. I presented my results with Dr. Perry, whose eager pursuit of scientific advances had blinded him to the foreboding reality. As the words set in, the truth dawned. We had discovered something beyond sinister, beyond our reach. The portal, a gateway to an unseen place, contained a power-seeking revenge, a revelation laden with impending disaster. The air in the tunnel became heavy with unsaid horror, and the shadows appeared to pulse with the malevolence of a creature ready to inflict its wrath on an unsuspecting planet. The chilling choice lingered in the air like a phantom, sending shivers through the cave's depths. Dr. Perry's haste to reactivate the link had an uncomfortable weight, a choice taken in the murky embrace of impending danger. Following our heated chat, the frightening plan was put into action. The date hung over us like a terrible omen. December 25th, 2023, a night historically linked with pleasure and celebration, but now overshadowed by the gateway portal's approaching reopening. The passing of 2 days, a tiny blink in time, conveyed the seriousness of our upcoming confrontation with the unknown. Despite my natural aversion, I became embroiled in the portal's deadly dance yet again. The cave, a quiet witness to our foolishness, seemed to reverberate with foreboding whispers of coming disaster. As we prepared for the portal's revival, the choice weighed heavily on my conscience. Military soldiers, armed and watchful, established a solemn cordon around the entrance. Their grim expressions mirrored the severity of the mission at hand, protecting against the unknown horrors that lay beyond the gateway. The air hummed with unspoken tension as we stood on the verge of unleashing forces beyond our control. The cavern's blackness appeared to deepen, a foreshadowing of the approaching merger. As the gateway hummed to life, its eerie illumination throwing long shadows on the cave walls, we felt a deep feeling of dread. The decision to disobey my better sense had kicked off a series of events that would lead us into a nightmare abyss, where the boundary between reality and the eldritch unknown became increasingly blurred with each passing second. Christmas slipped into the night, and while the globe fell asleep, we began an ominous countdown. At 8 p.m., the cavern reverberated with uneasy anticipation as we began to open the gateway. Tension hovered in the air, with each second ticking by like the foreboding rhythm of a heart. The gateway portal sprang to life, emitting an ethereal radiance that illuminated the cavern. At first, the brilliant light, a hypnotic hue of blue, put us in a trance. However, the peacefulness quickly turned to a menacing scarlet, evoking the approaching horror that lay beneath the portal's depths. The air crackled with electricity as the gateway roared to life, creating a symphony of weird sounds that echoed around the chamber. In that frightening moment, the portal welcomed its first visitors, 2 towering shadow-like monsters, each at least 10 feet tall. Their look defied imagination, and their unearthly presence sent chills down our spines. As they emerged, the facility was silent, a sharp contrast to the raucous cacophony of seconds before. Prepared military soldiers stood alert, guns ready for any situation. However, as the beings glided with ethereal grace, a sound pierced the air, locking us in place. The previously armed troops lowered their weapons, immobilized by a voice that projected supremacy beyond comprehension. Silent footsteps reverberated as the aliens surrounded us, their mysterious gaze penetrating through the gloom. One of them then said in an archaic, malevolent tone. The words lingered in the air, dripping with a terrifying meaning that went beyond our comprehension, placing our fate in the hands of beings that had total authority over the warped reality we had created.
Our master has been summoned back to this realm, and you were forewarned against the opening of the portal between our worlds. Regrettably, it is now too late for your world. We have watched you for ages, whispered into the darkest corners of your mind. The shadows you fear, for my master comes. Every chill, every nightmare, It's always been here inside the portal. Take heed to this message as my master comes to this realm and demonstrate what true terror feels like.
As the strange visitors walked among us, a malicious stink lingered in the air, a sensory reminder of their sinister presence. They towered over us like ancient giants, and their massive size made us tiny, mere children in the shadows of their evil. They were summoned back into the vortex in an instant, leaving us in a state of bewilderment and horror. After the creatures withdrew, I felt a startling break from their paralyzing power, which allowed me to move. With a burst of urgency, I dashed to cut the power to the gateway, trying to stop the terrible powers we had unintentionally unleashed. Dr. Perry, still in a stupor, collapsed to the ground, his figure a witness to the toll of our disastrous experiment. The military soldiers, encircling the gateway, once ready for action, now lie prostrate, their vitality sapped by the strange encounter. In the aftermath, a disturbing question rang across the enormous space. What in God's name had we unleashed? The air thickened with a real feeling of sadness, an unconscious acceptance of the inescapable repercussions that now surrounded us. The cave, once a haven for scientific inquiry, had devolved into a terrifying void, where the lines between realms blurred and the echoes of our folly echoed with the lingering fragrance of malevolence. Following the unusual encounter, Dr. Perry and I found ourselves trapped in a terrifying discourse, plagued by the shadow of what had just happened. The exact nature of the beings remained unknown, veiled in the foreboding ambiguity that clung to the cave's moist walls. Our weak attempts to protect ourselves proved worthless, just murmurs against the overwhelming power held by these wicked aliens. Following the unexpected meeting, Dr. Perry and I were locked in a terrible conversation, haunted by the aftermath of what had just occurred. The actual nature of the entities remained unclear, shrouded in the ominous ambiguity that clung to the cave's wet walls. Our feeble attempts to defend ourselves were futile in the face of these evil aliens' immense might. The decision lingered in the air like a thick mist. The gateway door, a conduit to unspeakable horrors, had been turned off. A shared understanding arose from our quiet accord. We couldn't afford to risk fate by reactivating the gateway, unleashing forces that challenged the fundamental fabric of our reality. The cave, now a sepulchre of forbidden knowledge, remained as a quiet tribute to the frailty of human curiosity and the grave repercussions that awaited those who ventured to peer through the portals into the unknown. Dr. Perry, it appears we've encountered something extraterrestrial. I'm uncertain whether we, or the world at large, can contend with such a formidable threat.
Dr. Collins, it seems these entities harbor hostility. However, let's explore the possibility of initiating a peaceful dialogue to uncover the truth. Perhaps through communication, we can gain insights into who they are and what they represent.
Dr. Perry, are you disregarding reason? If these entities intended peace, they would have approached us peacefully. This situation is more sinister than you realize. Earth lacks the means to confront such a threat. Personally, I strongly advise keeping the portal powered off. As the night fell, we sought sanctuary in the serenity of sleep, but it proved elusive. What we discovered within the gateway portal tormented us every waking minute, and the veil of the unknown placed a pall over our disturbed thoughts. When sleep arrived, it brought horrible images and a plunge into a realm of malevolent shadows. The air was heavy with an intangible discomfort, and the pictures of evil that flashed in the back of my mind refused to go away. The entire fabric of the night appeared to quiver with a foreboding cold as shadows transformed into specters whispering dark truths. The warning, imprinted in the recesses of my memory, resonated with disturbing resonance. The beings had prophesied of something unstoppable, an oncoming calamity that loomed over our planet. As sleep clung to the edges of my consciousness, a distinct sensation of foreboding permeated my being. The coming doom, a hazy shadow on the horizon, now at the very center of my existence. The weight of what we had released through the gateway portal pressed down on us, an oppressive force that made the night air thick with a sense of impending doom. The start of a new day provided no relief, only a gloomy continuance of our journey into the unknown. The gateway portal, now a dormant monolith, stood quiet, witness to the devastation it had caused. Reports rushed in, a grim witness to the consequences of our failed experiment. The gateway portal, a latent beast, had left an unmistakable mark on South Florida, unleashing a slew of bizarre events that eluded understanding. In the eerie calm of the aftermath, our team explored the conundrum left by the disabled gateway. The coordinates, a startling discovery, replicated an inverted reality, a warped representation of our mistaken attempts to manage forces beyond our control. Dread hung in the air as we battled with the terrifying thought that our activities had extended beyond the bounds of our hidden experiment. Reports from the field offered a terrifying picture of a profusion of anomalous portals, each a rip in the fabric of reality, emerging in unpopulated places across South Florida. The gravity of the episodes drove us to attempt a clandestine flight, flying toward unknown authorities who had the key to understanding the growing disaster. To our dismay, a conference was veiled in mystery, a gathering of minds burdened by the weight of unanticipated repercussions. Briefings provided a window into the mayhem sweeping the Miami region, as the boundary between reality and the supernatural became blurred. The unnamed authorities, their faces furrowed with anxiety, delivered updates on the rising abnormalities that now threatened to extend beyond the bounds of our doomed experiment. In the black hallways of doubt, we battled with the idea that our acts, like ripples in a dark pond, had set off a chain reaction of events far beyond our control. The gateway portal, a Pandora's box of forbidden knowledge, had released forces that were now manifesting themselves in the twisted anomalies that afflicted the very fabric of South Florida. The air was thick with dread as the unknown tightened its grasp on us, and we descended further into the heart of a nightmare. In the shadows of secrecy, we met with Agent Olivia Harmon, a character shrouded in the mystique of the STF, the Covert Military Task Force, a seasoned operator inside the shadow government. Her eyes conveyed a terrible awareness of the occult powers that lurked on the outside of human comprehension. With her experience, she arranged the formation of a specialized squad, a formidable force to combat the rising menace that had captured the heart of Miami. We worked with Miami's police chief, Jonathan Mercer, to develop a contingency plan in response to the approaching threat of an extraterrestrial invasion. The delicate dance of secret emerged as we walked the perilous road of keeping the general public unaware of the oncoming threat. The parts fit together perfectly, and we remained in the shadows, vigilant guardians of a city blissfully unconscious of the cosmic forces gathering under its surface. Time passed, and a false quiet descended over the city. The contingency plan served as an unsaid barrier, protecting the population from the approaching storm. We kept a close eye on the situation, maintaining a quiet watch against the unknown. On December 30th, 2023, the facade of normalcy crumbled. Dr. Perry and I went beneath the Southside Mall, exploring the deep depths where reality appeared to disintegrate. There, in the shadows, we discovered a spatial rift, a frightening break in the fabric of existence. The coordinates it transmitted led back to the mysterious events in Antarctica, a frightening link that hinted at an extraterrestrial connection. The air swelled with an intangible terror, the unknown realm calling from the chasm as we stood on the verge of a cosmic discovery that threatened to plunge Miami into the unknown. Dr. Perry, are you detecting the energy signature beneath the mall? It appears that our actions in opening the gateway portal in Antarctica may have caused a dimensional rift under this mall. The coordinates here are identical but reversed, indicating a significant anomaly. We must initiate an immediate evacuation of the mall area. This dimensional rift, previously non-existent, is now emanating a considerable amount of power. It seems to be drawing energy from its surroundings and the mall's structure itself.
Dr. Collins, considering it's New Year's Eve, an evacuation of the mall and its surroundings at this moment would likely induce panic. And that's the last thing we need right now.
Dr. Perry is correct, Dr. Collins. We must approach this situation discreetly and, if possible, peacefully. However, the ultimate goal is clear. We need to neutralize the threat. The STF is deploying Black Ops assault helicopters to this location as we speak.
Agent Harmon, if necessary, I will allocate 100 policemen to this area to de-escalate the situation. Our strategy will involve crafting a narrative centered around teenagers causing a disturbance at the mall to avoid instigating panic.
On the ominous dawn of January 1st, 2024, Miami, Florida, pulsated with life. A vibrant city bathed in the neon glow of its nightlife and adorned with endless shopping options. Amidst this bustling metropolis, Southside Mall loomed, a towering edifice dedicated to the insatiable appetite of consumerism. Yet, unbeknownst to the shoppers and mallgoers, reveling in the allure of retail therapy, a malevolent secret festered within the hallowed confines of its walls. As the city embraced the promise of a new year, a clandestine energy stirred within the heart of Southside Mall. The air, thick with the residue of anticipation, hinted at an impending revelation, a sinister force poised to rupture the veneer of normalcy that shrouded the bustling consumer haven. Shoppers meandered through the labyrinthine corridors, oblivious to the lurking malevolence that coiled beneath the polished floors. The lively chatter and the rhythmic hum of commerce masked the undercurrents of an impending doom that had taken residence within the very fabric of the mall. With every passing moment, the atmosphere thickened, a palpable tension seeping into the air like an invisible poison. The vibrant facade of consumerism became a deceptive veil, concealing the shadowy truth that awaited its moment of revelation. It was a quiet terror, an insidious suspense that gripped the mall in an unseen vice, tightening its hold with each tick of the clock. As the evening draped Southside Mall in its nocturnal embrace, people reveled in the joyous atmosphere, blissfully unaware of the impending horror lurking in the shadows. From our discreet vantage point in the motorized police precinct near the mall, we remained on edge, monitoring the festivities that concealed the sinister undercurrents awaiting their moment. Then, within the bustling mall, it happened, an otherworldly descent into nightmare. The air crackled with an eerie energy as portals manifested and towering entities 10 feet tall materialized. Panic unfurled like a virus, consuming the unsuspecting crowd. We, poised on standby, watched as the fabric of reality unraveled. The beings, an eldritch presence in the guise of nightmarish giants, emerged through the portals. Chaos erupted as expected, and the civilians scattered in a frenzied attempt to escape the encroaching horror. Agent Harmon's STF team, disguised as civilians, revealed their true nature and opened fire, but the bullets dissipated into thin air. The entities, impervious to conventional weaponry, projected an impenetrable force field that acted as an ethereal shield. With desperation mounting, the police chief rallied the summoned 100 officers, mobilizing them to create a safety zone for the terrified crowd. As the entities, colossal and indifferent, strolled through the mall's inner sanctum, the police worked tirelessly to evacuate the innocent, their efforts overshadowed by the looming terror that now roamed freely within the consumerist haven. The air thickened with a palpable dread, the line between reality and nightmare blurring as the entities, indifferent to the chaos they sowed, approached the threshold of the mall's boundaries.
Dr. Perry, I propose that we explore the option of cutting power to the surrounding radius. It seems these portals are harnessing energy from the area's power grids. Police Chief Mercer, could you coordinate with the city's power company to initiate a shutdown of the power?
Agent Harmon, I've strategically positioned 100 police cars outside the mall, forming a barricade to contain and restrict the movements of the entities.
Chief Mercer, we must establish a barricade to contain the threat and prevent the entities from advancing towards the street. Dr. Collins and Dr. Perry, stay outside the mall as we devise a strategy to prevent these entities from escaping the vicinity.
Certainly, Agent Harmon. I will get it done promptly. I'm on it.
Chaos erupted within the confines of the mall as patrons, once immersed in the mundane pursuit of consumerism, now found themselves plunged into a nightmarish abyss. A symphony of terrified screams echoed through the cavernous halls, mingling with the escalating gunfire that sought to defy the encroaching horror. However, the bullets, mere whispers against the cosmic malevolence, disintegrated upon impact, leaving the entities unscathed. The colossal 10-foot-tall beings, manifestations of otherworldly terror, flickered in and out of existence, their forms a grotesque dance of phasing through the unstable frequency fields of the portal. As they emerged from the mall's interior, their towering silhouettes dwarfed police cars, a grotesque distortion of reality as they struggled to maintain their initial forms. Yet, amidst the chaos, a revelation clawed its way into the forefront of our terror-stricken minds. The entities, once perceived as harbingers of destruction, adopted an unsettling demeanor. They moved with a calculated purpose, akin to spy drones surveying their surroundings. It was a realization that chilled the very essence of our beings. In a desperate bid to stem the unfolding nightmare, Agent Harmon urgently radioed Police Chief Mercer, instructing him to sever the source of power that fueled the entity's intrusion. In swift compliance, the police chief initiated a blackout, plunging the surroundings into an eerie darkness. However, the entities, undeterred by the absence of light, emitted a signal that transcended the physical realm, an electromagnetic pulse that rendered us, the would-be defenders, trapped in a state of suspended animation. Time itself seemed to halt, a cruel mockery of our helplessness in the face of an inscrutable cosmic force that now held dominion over the once bustling heart of Miami. As the malevolent entities moved through the city, an eerie caution seemed to accompany their spectral presence. Simultaneously, we emerged from our state of suspended animation, a collective breath catching in our throats. It was as if the entity's grip on our reality was weakening, a fleeting reprieve from the cosmic paralysis that had ensnared us. In the cloak of the Miami night, a sudden brilliance erupted from the sky, an otherworldly light that pierced through the darkness with celestial intensity. 4 colossal beings materialized, their majestic forms dwarfing even the ominous entities that had emerged from the confines of the mall. These ethereal giants radiated a divine luminescence, their sheer magnitude eclipsing the malevolence that had cast a shadow over the city. The dark entities, sensing a force more formidable than themselves, began a hasty retreat. The once imposing beings that had wrought havoc within the mall recoiled in the face of the celestial radiance emanating from the newly arrived entities. The Miami night, once cloaked in fear, now witnessed a celestial clash of cosmic proportions. These towering beings, akin to angels, descended from realms beyond, unfurled majestic wings. Prepared for battle, they hovered in the night sky, a celestial army ready to confront the malevolence that sought to taint the earthly realm. The juxtaposition of darkness and divine light painted a surreal tableau against the canvas of the Miami night, a cosmic conflict that held the very fabric of reality in suspense. The city trembled on the precipice of a supernatural confrontation, caught in the crossfire of forces beyond mortal comprehension. Agent Harmon, do you witness this spectacle? It appears we are caught in the midst of an interdimensional battle. Dr. Perry, have we, in our folly, unleashed entities that wield dominion over this planet? Upon reading the initial ancient writings on the gateway portal in Antarctica, I now comprehend the gravity of our actions. Opening that portal, Doctor, may have led us to the gates of hell, unleashing forces that should have remained undisturbed.
Dr. Collins, we indeed erred, and I must confess, the gateway portal remains powered up in Antarctica. This lapse in our actions is the reason these entities are present, and the perplexing reversal of coordinates further attests to the repercussions of our oversight.
Dr. Perry, do you comprehend the implications that neglecting to power down the gateway portal in Antarctica may serve as the catalyst for a potential war on Earth? A celestial radiance emanated from the angelic forms, casting an ethereal glow that transformed the once menacing night into a celestial theater. As their divine light permeated the surroundings, an uncanny stillness gripped the city, an eerie suspension of reality, a cosmic interlude in the tapestry of time. Within this cosmic pause, the malevolent entities, sensing the impending celestial onslaught, recoiled into the shadows from whence they came. The imminent threat dissipated, but the eerie aftermath left a lingering sense of foreboding. We stood at the precipice of salvation, yet the cost remained shrouded in the cosmic uncertainty of our saviors. The celestial beings, akin to ancient watchers from realms beyond, stood frozen in time, guardians suspended in the act of deliverance. As the others remained locked in a temporal stasis, I alone possessed the ability to observe, my senses attuned to the telepathic whispers that resonated through the suspended air. In that moment of silent communion, a profound sense of concern emanated from the celestial being closest to me. Their thoughts, transmitted with a cosmic eloquence, resonated within the recesses of my mind. The weight of their concern echoed in the stillness, a harbinger of cosmic unrest that transcended the boundaries of mortal comprehension. Then, amidst the suspended animation of my surroundings, he spoke, an ethereal voice that reverberated through the silence, carrying the weight of ancient wisdom and cosmic authority.
Kindred, take heed of the warning emanating from the gateway portal. Your adversaries are not of mere flesh and blood, but are principalities, powers, and rulers of the darkness in this world, spiritual wickedness in high places. Your realm is but one among many, and you must safeguard it from those who seek its destruction. The balance has been disrupted, and the repercussions ripple through the fabric of existence. Your actions have opened a gateway to forces beyond your understanding. The cosmic equilibrium is fragile, and the impending war threatens not only Earth, but the very foundation of cosmic order. Your redemption lies in restoring the balance, for the fate of worlds hinges on the choices you make, in the shadow of cosmic uncertainty.
In an instant, my eyes snapped open, only to find Dr. Perry, Agent Harmon, and Police Chief Mercer sharing the same bewildered gaze. Memories lay scattered, like fragments of a shattered reality, erased from the canvas of our minds. The Southside Mall, the ominous gateway portal in Antarctica, the interdimensional beings vanished. The epic scene that unfolded before our eyes, now reduced to mere echoes in the corridors of our consciousness. A disquieting amnesia shrouded us, masking the cosmic ordeal we had just endured. The Mal, once a battleground against otherworldly malevolence, now echoed with the mundane hum of daily life. The gateway portal, a conduit to the cosmic unknown, had left no trace in the minds of those who had stood on the precipice of total devastation. The media wove a narrative that painted a vastly different picture, a tale of a large group of juveniles engaged in a tumultuous battle within the mall's confines. It became the official account, a distorted reflection of the cosmic maelstrom that had unfolded. The entities, the celestial saviors, all reduced to the status of mere hallucinations in the eyes of the world. Yet, in the depths of my being, I clung to the profound truth that transcended the fabricated narrative. The cosmic forces that had intervened, the ancient watchers who hovered on the brink of our reality, they were not illusions. I alone carried the burden of this knowledge, a solitary witness to the fragility of our existence. As the world embraced the sanitized version of events, I couldn't shake the chilling realization that we had teetered on the brink of annihilation. The evil that had knocked at our world's door, repelled only by celestial intervention, lingered as an unseen specter, a reminder of the fragile balance between the known and the cosmic unknown. Agent Harmon, Police Chief Mercer, Dr. Perry and I found ourselves at a crossroads, questioning the reality of everything that had transpired. Each of us assumed roles in the narrative presented to the media, all while grappling with the looming uncertainty of what lay ahead in the abyss of the Gateway Portal.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd want to address a few of the videos that have been circulating on social media. First, in the incident at Southside Mall, there were at least 50 minors involved in disruptive activities, such as firing fireworks and looting. Law enforcement authorities on the site encountered difficulties in managing the situation, forcing a citywide Call 3, resulting in a strong reaction from every available officer in the city. This explains the increased police presence you saw at Southside Mall during that event. A video has surfaced showing claimed 8 to 10 foot aliens inside Southside Mall. I'd want to explain that this film represents nothing more than a police officer strolling, and what appear to be alien beings are really reflections of the officer's shadow. I can promise you categorically that there are no aliens present in or near Miami, particularly within Southside Mall at the moment. Thank you for your attention.